What's up, everyone? Joseph here, and welcome to Interchange Second Students Book from the 5th edition. This video marks the beginning of this book, of this level. In this book, we're gonna see some new topics and also some old topics. So let's begin. We're gonna take a look at the grammar that is on page 3 of the book. That's page 3 on, of course, Unit 1, past tense. Now, we have seen this topic before, past tense. We saw this on the intro book, and we also saw it on the first book. And so this will be more like a review. The simple past tense is formed in different ways. We know we can create the simple past tense using the verb be as the main verb, and of course using did as the auxiliary, and also of course the past form of the verb with affirmative statements. So the simple past is used to talk about actions that happen in the past at a specific moment or a specific time period. So when we use the simple past, we talk about a specific moment. Um, uh, uh, we are going to talk about an action, something that happened at a specific moment or a specific time period, and this has no connection with the present. And this period, this moment, or this sentence has no connection to the present. For example, something that happened yesterday, something that happened last week, something that happened last month, last year, on a birth date, or for example, the Independence Day. That's a specific moment on a specific day. So it's a specific moment, a specific day, of course. This is different from the present perfect, which makes a connection with the present. It's a moment that happened in the past and has a connection with the present, um, either because it's something that is something that happened uh, in a in a specific year that has a connection to this moment, for example, this year, or a specific month, this month, this day, today, um, in this century also. So let's continue with the simple past tense. So we have seen this. So we're going to begin with the structure for affirmative statements with the simple past form of the verb. Um, so the structure is the subject, the simple past form of the verb. We know how to create the simple past form of the verb. We just have to add ed at the end of the verb. This is with regular verbs. Let me write this here. With irregular, with regular, excuse me, with regular verbs. Okay, with regular verbs, we use this structure: the subject plus the simple past form of the verb. We have explained how to form the simple past form of the verb, but I'm gonna link this in here. I'm gonna put the link here if you don't remember. So, and plus the complement. I cleaned the house yesterday. The subject, clean, the verb, the main verb, adding ed, and the house yesterday. Charlie copied the homework. Um, Charlie, the subject, copied the simple past form of the verb, and the homework is the complement. So we can see here the structure. I wrote copy because remember the verb. This is the normal form of the verb copy with a y. But as I explained in the video where I explained how to form the simple past form of the verb, we have to erase the y and write I and then add ed. So with irregular verbs, this is different. With irregular verbs, we have to write the simple past form of the verb with the simple past form of the irregular. This is better. With the irregular verb plus the complement. Remember that irregular verbs don't follow this rule. They don't follow the rule of adding ed. They have their own form of their own past form. Excuse me. For example, you wrote the letter. You, the subject, wrote the simple past form of the irregular verb, and the letter is the complement. This is the normal form of the verb, write, and this is the past form. As you can see, we don't add ed at the end of this verb. Isabel bought a car last week. Isabel bought a car last week. This is the normal form of the verb buy, and this is the past form of the verb. So the structure for negative statements. So with negative statements, we have to add the auxiliary did. Let's take a look. Subject plus did plus not plus the normal form of the verb in this case. We only use the past form of the verb with the affirmative statements. But with negative statements, the auxiliary adapts the past form. So the verb can stay in the normal form. Normal form of the verb plus complement. I, the subject, did not, in this case is the contraction, didn't participate. The normal form of the verb is not in the past form. The past form stays with the auxiliary. In the activity, this is the complement. I, subject, didn't, and the auxiliary, participate, the normal form of the verb. In the activity, the complement. The same here. Ronald didn't listen to the class. Ronald, subject, didn't, the auxiliary with not, listen, as the normal form of the verb, to the class, the complement. Remember that didn't is the contraction of did not. And remember, did is also the past form of do. In this case, it's used as an auxiliary, but it can also be used as the main verb as well. For example, they didn't do the homework. Didn't, the auxiliary, remember, if we're gonna create a negative statement, a past negative statements, we have to use did as the auxiliary. So we use did, didn't, in this case not, also did, and do as the main verb, because we have to use the main verb in the normal form of the verb. So do stays in the normal form, and of course the complement. So let's continue. The simple past yes and no questions. What is the structure? Did. First we use did. Did and the subject change places. Did, the subject, the verb, the base form or the normal form stays in the normal form, and the complement, and of course the question mark. Did they buy anything on the supermarket? Did, the auxiliary. They, the subject, buy, the normal form of the verb, the base form, and the complement. Another example with the same characteristics. And the short answer, for the negative short answer, yes, plus the subject plus did. And the negative form, no subject, did not. For example, did Carol see the movie? Did Carol see the movie? Yes, she did. No, she didn't. It follows this structure. And the structure for WH questions with did. WH word plus did plus the subject plus the verb plus the complement. So it's almost the same structure as this one, but we add the WH word at the beginning. Where did you go last night? WH word, the subject, the verb in its normal form, last night, the complement. All of these questions follow the same structure. Well, these are the answers. Of course, they follow the positive structure or the negative if necessary. So, now let's continue with the simple past of be. Um, it's it's used in the same way. Of course, we're talking about the past tense, but in this case we're using be as the main verb. So the past form of be is was and were, and we use was with these pronouns, and we use were with these pronouns. So was is the past form of am and is, and were is the past form of are. So in these questions and statements, the verb be is the past form of the main verb, as stated before. Excuse me. So the structure for positive statements: subject, past of be, and the complement. So for example, I was in my house yesterday. I was in my house yesterday. The subject, the past of be, and the complement. Pedro was born on March 2nd, 1960. Again, the past form of be, the subject, and the complement. All of these sentences follow the same structure. So the structure for negative statements. The structure for negative statements is subject, past of be, not, and the complement. I was not in my house yesterday. I, the subject, was, the verb, the past of be, not in my house yesterday, the complement. Pedro wasn't born on March 2nd, 1960. Pedro, the subject, was the past of the verb be, and T, of course, the contraction, and the complement. You were not here last month. The subject, were in this case, because I'm using you as the pronoun, as the subject. And not here last month. And remember that was not is the normal form of wasn't. This is the contraction. Weren't is the contraction of were not. So, let's continue. Yes and no questions with the past of be. The structure. Past of be, subject, and the complement. And of course, the question mark. Was Pedro born on March 2nd, 1960? So the past of be and the subject change places. Was Pedro born on March 2nd, 1960? Verb be in the past form and the subject. Were they in Mao decades ago? Were the past of be, they, the subject, and of course the complement. Short answers with the positive structure. Yes plus the subject plus the past of be. Yes. Was Pedro born on March 2nd, 1960? Yes, he was. Yes, the subject and the past of be. So the short answer structure in the negative. No, subject, past of be, and not. No, he wasn't. No, subject, the past of be, and not, the contraction. So all of these sentences follow the same structure. And finally, the structure for WH questions with the past of be. WH word, was or were, depending on the subject, of course, and the complement. Where weren't you last night? So, of course, this is a negative question. Where weren't you last night? I was at home. So this sounds better if we erase the negative form. Indeed, let's say it this way for now. Where were you last night? I was at home. The WH, the past of be, the subject, and last night the complement. Who are you with? The WH word, the past of be, the subject, and the complement. What was that noise? WH word, past of be, and that noise in this case is the subject. So all of these questions follow the structure for WH questions with the past of be. So this is the end of the video. I will see you on the next one.